Hey, what's going on? This is SK, here to talk about why 90s hip-hop might be the best era of hip-hop. Now, don't get me wrong, I love 70s and 80s too. I love the party music that came out. And I know a lot of people gonna say, well, all hip-hop isn't lyrical, or, they used to dress weird back in the day. Okay, a lot of them did dress weird. I would never wear the stuff they wore nowadays or back in the day. But at least with the stuff that they wore back in the day was specifically for men. Now, I don't agree with it. It's still weird. But y'all nowadays are wearing specifically women clothing. Wearing a dress, wearing a skirt. Back in the day, they may have wore something that looked like it was for women, but it wasn't necessarily for women. Y'all will wear what is exactly for women. So don't try to compare it. Also, hip-hop back in the day was so creative. You got to look at artists like Tupac, who was a real poet. He was really doing what he said he was going to do outside of his music. That's why he's my favorite rapper of all time. Andre 3000 played instruments, made beats. He could rap on anybody's beats, anybody's song. He's like the prince of hip-hop. Then, with DMX, he's one of the biggest rappers that prey on a lot of his songs. And he's creative too. Even though he's gritty, he's a thug. But what rapper is preying on their songs and really doing what they say in their music? Look at M.O.P. Look at Big Pun, one of the most lyrical rappers. Eminem. Look at artists like Jadakiss. He's a lyrical rapper and probably could survive in the battle realm. Back in the day, artists had healthy competitions. They were battle rappers, they were lyrical rappers, they were conscious rappers. Rappers rapping about everything. Like LL Cool J, he rapped about women. Or like Pimp C said, if you are a cartoon rapper, you're a cartoon rapper. If you're a thug, you're a thug. Whatever it is that you are, be that. Like back then, they motivated you to just be who you are, stay who you are. Now, same with the early 2000s artists too. I mean, even with like Nas, Illmatic, that's considered one of the greatest albums. Or you take artists like Biggie Smalls and Snoop, the greatest flows in hip-hop. And the most quotable albums, really, to me, in hip-hop, maybe back then, maybe just back then, was Ready to Die and Life After Death. And that doesn't necessarily mean I'm saying he's the greatest artist of all time. What I'm saying is, I think everybody knows at least one song on those albums and maybe be able to quote them and know them really, really well compared to any other rapper. You just got to really think about it. Everybody knows One More Chance, Hypnotized, More Money, More Problems. Hell, Bad Boy took over back in the late 90s. What else is another reason the 90s is great? Matter of fact, that right there. You take back in 1990, I think LL came out, KRS-One was still here, Big Daddy Kane, and then they were conscious artists and battle rap artists. And then you go all the way up to Mace, 1999, and he was a party rapper, but he was still respected. And, he still, he had his thug side and his laid back chill side, but he was still a respectable artist.